I think you've been mostly successful
It's
based
true.
on
It's true.
Joanne's experience doing embroidery streaming. Like, there is no top to this mountain. You just climb it
Sure.
forever.
Sure, I think that's probably true. Okay, we are actually live with the correct title, at least on YouTube.com.
Hooray.
Yay. The actual, before we celebrate too much, I'll make sure we are also live on Twitch.
That's a good idea. I am now trying to navigate back to the stream so that I have a chance in hell of seeing what you're doing.
This worked really well on Mixer for the 9 seconds that Mixer existed. So many people just do this all day, every day, and they do it so successfully.
Oh, the internet.
So if I go to Twitch, it says the video download was canceled, which no part of that statement makes sense. Individually, concurrently.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we're just on YouTube, that's probably fine. That is where most people watch us. And the raw number is not tremendously high anyway. So,
Well, yeah, but.
Yeah, but.
Well, no, I mean, any moment.
True. The main thing is just that most people watch the archive. Like, we don't get that many live viewers, and the archive lives on YouTube anyway.
Okay, well, you have the little live symbol next to your channel name, but I am not as yet able to navigate to the stream itself.
Yeah, same. And if I can't, what hope does anybody else have? Well, in the interest of time and sanity.
Joanne from the other room says that she has found your stream.
Okay, on Twitch or on the YouTube?
I do not know. And I am loath to shout.
Party can start, says Joanne.
She is on YouTube. So she is having more success on YouTube currently than either of us.
So here's what's going to happen, fellow kids. I am going to go ahead and nix the Twitch stream this time. Going to tell the world that we are just live on YouTube, and we're going to proceed with the sesh.
Perfect and wonderful, especially if I am able to actually watch your stream while we play.
Are you having trouble on YouTube as well?
Still can't see it.
What the heck?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
That seems like a bigger problem than the other problems we were having. At least potentially.
I'm reminded of an XKCD where the first panel is somebody trying to add a hard drive to a computer tower, and then with each successive panel their threshold for success gets lower and lower until finally in the last panel they're talking about, if we start swimming now we should make it to shore before the sharks get us.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, look, we're streaming a video game on YouTube from our houses. This is all right. I mean, the fact that you can't see it is my only concern. I mean, it should be okay. I can describe what's happening. You can actually scroll over. You can click on my big dumb bearded face and go from there if it comes down to it. If push comes to shove.
There's a lot that I can see. And I think since we're allied now, there should be even more that I can see.
The fog of war is way less of an issue now. So for those who didn't watch the previous episode, we became official allies through a royal betrothal. I believe it was my daughter, who was born in prison during the war, is betrothed to one of your innumerable sons. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I kept on having sons. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Currently, and we betrothed my youngest son to your youngest daughter, Vesa and Asa, which I didn't catch before, which is very funny.
Gorgeous. All right, well let's boot this up. Let's see the state of the world, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Gonna try to.
It's gonna be disorienting that.
Yep. Speaking of disorienting, all right, here we go.
Wait, here it is. Oh.
All right. So my wife is surprisingly chill with me, considering I got her captured and imprisoned for. I mean, let's not worry too much about how long.
Despite my knowing better, my brain initially tried to parse that as your IRL wife is surprisingly chill with you. It wasn't until you said captured and imprisoned that I realized, oh wait.
Look, the way the world's going, who even knows? We're taking turns going to protests. So, all right. So, let's actually, before we zoom in, let's take a look at Minsk, which is likely to be a problem.
Oh yeah.
I predict that if not in this session, then in an upcoming one, we're gonna war with Minsk. Let's just set the table though, because here's me. This specifically is my stronghold. We were doing a fair bit of warring up in Narva last time. Currently, I hold Narva, but my neighbors have had their eyes on it. I actually launched a tremendously ill-conceived war in order to secure Narva, which I did eventually win. Yes. Meanwhile, to the north.
So I hear at, I'm gonna guess, Poyanma.
Yeah.
Or Poyanma. 2 A's at the end there.
So just to show
High
you.
Chieftain Kaleva.
With the beard of all beards.
Yeah, it's really something. And I'm doing pretty okay. I hold both of the duchy level titles, petty kingdoms at the moment, I think, personally, but don't hold all that land personally. So if I want to get any bigger than this, I have to become a king, not a petty king, because tribal societies such as Drew's and mine are locked into the Confederate partition succession law, where everybody gets a piece of the pie when you die. So if you want to stay as one cohesive realm, you have to have one title as your primary title that goes that is above the other titles that people can inherit.
So is it a bad playthrough if you don't manage to do that in the lifetime of your first character, or is that just like it's a goal, but it's not a necessary condition?
It is. I mean, it really depends on how you approach the game, right? If you approach this as the goal is to get as big and as powerful as possible, which is a straightforward and enjoyable way to play, at least I find, then yeah, it can be a really big setback. But even then, it's not a lose condition. You just have work to do.
Right. For those just joining us, the only lose condition is if your character dies without an heir.
Well, and specifically dies without an heir in your house.
Right.
Or even
right,
dynasty.
right.
Those things are different in this game. So you have the overall dynasty. Mine is Kemilainen dynasty. And then within that, I am House Kemilainen. And there are other houses that could be split off from my dynasty that would still be part of the dynasty despite having a different house name.
Right. So as far as becoming a king, does that happen? Is that like the next step after you establish absolute tribal authority, or is that a completely separate question? Is it purely a function of how much territory you control personally?
Kingdoms are titles, right? So if you click on the map view that says kingdom titles, you can see where the de jure kingdoms are.
Okay.
And so I, in the moment, am straddling Finland and Sapmi kingdoms. I've got half of my territory in one and half of my territory in the other. If I control enough territory in one or the other of those kingdoms, I can create that kingdom title with enough money and prestige, and that will give me this overarching title. Now, there have in the past also been, and yes, I see it here in the decisions tab, you can found a new kingdom, supposing that your realm size is 30 or more and I hold 3 or more duchies and I'm an independent ruler with a illustrious level of fame, which is a ways off for me at the moment. Then you can spend money, prestige, and piety in order to found an entirely new kingdom that does not have a presence on the map.
So I'm actually, let's see here. So my next level is illustrious. Now I'm quite a ways from it. I just became distinguished, but it's not inconceivable. I should say, both due to sort of the desire to be illustrious and also just the religion that my dude is a member of. I sort of need to make war. It's considered impious to be at peace for too long.
Correct. You will start to lose probably prestige or opinion if you are at peace for too long. I don't have that problem with Swomanusko.
Sure.
But we are also able to raid still, which is nice. But yes, you need to be kind of constantly in conflict for a loose definition of constantly in order to excel. Now, the good news is that you have a pretty sizable army for the size of your realm. Most of your neighbors are going to have far smaller armies. Even Minsk, which is pretty big, has about half your troops. As does Apulia. For my part, I have about half your troop count, a little less, a lot less actually. I was rounding to 3,000. I should have been rounding to 4,000.
Yeah, I should say, like, I've been skating by on the almost supernatural martial ability of my dude. Everything else has gone wrong, and it hasn't mattered because I can just stomp whoever comes to my doorstep. So far,
yeah. So 10 is, in any given skill or trait or attribute or whatever they call them in this game, is considered kind of like average. You know, breaks even, no penalties, no bonuses. Your martial is 25.
Yeah, so 100, yeah, 150% more than pretty good.
Yeah, and in real effects, that gives you a third more levies and a third faster reinforcement rate for your levies, as well as increasing like your strategic ability.
Sure.
So, yeah, I am probably going to be husbanding my resources for a minute because I am flat broke. I have 0 wealth.
Ouch. For comparison, I have 169 right now, which is less than I had, but not too bad considering I just finished fighting a war that involved hiring mercenaries.
Right, which are quite expensive at times. So I'm going to just kind of hang out and get prestige and money because it takes prestige or piety to declare a war in the first place. And then I'm going to try and start consolidating the Kingdom of Finland. Probably with some raiding in there too, as it's my primary source of income.
Sounds like a good time. So again, for those just joining us, this is a real-time game, but you can pause time whenever you like. Peaked there, turned myself down a little. So I think we're probably ready to unpause and let the story continue to unfold.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's do a thing.
By all means.
All right, you can't use space when there's 2 of us. That was anticlimactic.
I did test that last time and was disgruntled to find that it was not possible.
I sort of get it. You have to mean it.
Right. They don't want it to be happening on accident, but alas and alack, all the same. So in terms of having to be at war all the time, what do you think Holmgarther's next target is going to be?
It's a good question. So I sort of have a sense, like, Estonia is definitely, they caused some trouble late in the game last time. Oop, hold on. I'm going to pause here. So, Cradled by Death is the name of this event. When the midwife finally exits the birth chamber with a softly crying bundle in her arms, relief washes over me. Then I see the look on her face. I'm sorry, my lord, Lady Ingrid. Wow. That's tragic.
Yeah, in fact, the button that you click to advance the screen and accept the outcome is such tragic beginnings, ...
Yeah.
It earns you some stress.
Man. I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll name him after Ingrid's father. We have a literal baby Bjorn, and here we go. Well, that's not great.
No. In fact, you should probably remarry.
Well, let's make that choice before we continue then.
Yeah, remaining unmarried confers a reasonable disadvantage in that your spouse is able to add some of their skills to yours.
Sure.
By being on your council.
So the very first thing that happened when we started playing this game was I had an unseemly low number of concubines.
True.
I don't know if it's culturally true that I should consider them marriage material, or definitely not, or maybe.
I genuinely am unsure. I guess what I would say is if you have a concubine that is particularly skilled and preferably age to have children, if that's something that you're interested in having more children, then yeah, I would say check out your concubine, see if there's one there that you like
Yeah.
for the job.
Norse
And then if not, you
paganism
can always...
revolves around reverence for the god, known as Seer. Adherents are expected to live and preferably die in an honorable fashion. I mean, gotcha, Chief. No problem there.
Oh, that's right. You have human sacrifice too.
I do. I haven't actually figured out, like, it hasn't come up.
Right.
As a
it mainly means that you can execute people for piety.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, that might be that might be handy. That might come up in the story we're telling here. So bad to be deceitful, craven, or forgiving. Good to be wrathful, brave, and vengeful. Again, so far so good. Okay, well, so where are my concubines at? The things this game makes you say. Oh, I'm probably looking at my court, right? I don't have a court physician. We'll deal with that next too. Sorry, this is nothing to you, but I'm still getting my feet in this game.
I think that you are doing just fine.
I remember seeing my concubine's portraits here, but I did change the size of the screen.
Apologies for the dog noise.
No need to apologize. I see an heir. I see a spouse. Where are they at?
Let's see. Mine looks slightly different from yours because of the screen size consideration, but it should be family, and in the top right of the family tab on your character sheet.
Okay.
If indeed you have a family tab on your character sheet.
Sure hope I do. Where are my family?
It's all about family. I do a good Vin Diesel.
It was pretty good, I gotta say. Oh, there's my house.
Might be something that maybe got put somewhere else when the screen size changed.
Yeah, it's more different than I expected.
Yeah, which, I mean, is honestly kind of a good accessibility thing, but maybe a pretty bad streaming thing as it happens.
Yeah, let's not mince words here. Yeah, there's my dang house. Members, 8 living.
Can you scroll down at the bottom of your character sheet?
That's a good question. No.
Huh. Because that's the only place I know to look for it, unfortunately.
We could change the size of the screen, but I feel like our viewers have suffered enough. Let's just see who it suggests as a spouse. That's a weird form factor. Can I have more space to look? No, I cannot. All right, fine. So let's see. We've got Harsala.
See, I'm using this time to canvas my options for Wars of Conquest, so
Sure.
not going to waste.
So what happens if you marry someone lowborn? Like, what is that?
You lose prestige, which
Okay.
can be bad as a tribal ruler, but it's kind of easy come, easy go, I find.
Mm-hmm. Because it's suggesting a lot of lowborn options to me, interestingly.
I find that's at least a little bit common with smaller tribal rulers. There aren't an amazing number of noble houses in 9th century Novgorod.
Sure. Well, we do have someone with quite high diplomacy. Not absurdly high, but certainly higher than mine, I believe. No, not actually higher than mine, but, good. I feel like that, well, I don't know. I'm going to be making war anyway.
Well, one of the things that diplomacy, one of the effects that it has is an effect on the general opinion. That is to say, everybody's opinion score of you is affected by your diplomacy. And I think it has to be like 10 to be neutral, to be like a 0 opinion. So, having a spouse who adds to your diplomacy is not a bad idea, because it'll just make people like you more.
What happens when you marry a spy master whose personality type is treacherous villain? I can really only see that going well. What do you look for in a partner?
A willingness to betray my enemies after befriending them slowly.
Yeah, I mean, like your vows said, I was at your wedding. I was in your wedding. I remember.
Indeed, yeah. A lot of knives, a lot of candles, a lot of shouted oaths.
Yeah, yeah. Many things sworn.
Many things forsworn.
Like you want. What about her? Let's see. She's a compassionate adventurer. I don't actually know what that means. Oh, interesting mechanical question. Late in the session last time, we realized I am bisexual. That said, you know, in terms of producing an heir, the game's going to want me to marry a woman, and also I think we set it so that the society's feelings on same-sex pairings of any kind are going to be determined by religious and social constraints rather than being anything goes. Yeah,
I believe so. And I mean, for you, I can pull up Astaru here. However, stress is always going to be wrong. Holds same-sex relations, male adultery, deviancy, female adultery, and witchcraft to be criminal. So I don't know that there is a mechanic in this game by which you could marry somebody who was not the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. I have in my single-player game put together a religion that is cool with extramarital philandering and is cool if that philandering is same-sex, but it still is not allowing the like marriage contract to be between two people of the same sex.
Sure.
So I think marriage, as far as the mechanics of the base game unmodded are concerned, is a reproductive situation.
Yeah, which is certainly historically, and mechanically logical. Okay, well, you know what? Christina looks pretty good. She has a daughter named Asa as well. It's fate. She's the heir to Varund, so that's good. Okay, we're sending a proposal. We're looking up where Varund is. It is... Let me find it on the map.
So you can click more and then find title and type in.
Okay.
That said, I see... Chieftain of Varund is in Småland in Sweden.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Chieftain of Varund. Show me the capital. Yeah, I'm feeling okay about this choice. Let's deal with a little other business here where I'm above my domain limit. I am one holding above my limit of 4, which will reduce my taxes and levies. So I can grant a title if I'm so inclined. How do you raise your domain limit?
By having higher stewardship, and there are also certain... I would almost said laws because that's what it was in Crusader Kings 2, but I think it's cultural innovations, like in the tribal innovations ledger gives a +1 domain limit. I am 532 years away from learning ledger at my current rate, so yeah.
Search for a physician will be unavailable for 12 months. Why is that? Oh, searching for a physician makes it so that you can't search for another one for 12 months.
You can only do it once a year. Yeah.
Understood.
Interesting. Boy, oh boy, does the process of cultural innovations go very, very slowly at the beginning. And the good news is that in my experience, it does. In my single player experience so far, it does speed up eventually.
Yeah.
But it takes a minute.
So maybe this is another weird UI thing. So I'm clicking search for a physician. Then where do I say, okay, do that?
Down at the bottom of the window that pops up.
That's where I don't see it.
Maybe
I just need to make this bigger.
Yeah, you may be having. Yeah, if you can slide the window up, reposition it.
Yeah, try
so you can
that.
see the bottom of it.
All right, let's see if I can do this without leaving our game.
That's really unfortunate.
Oh, I don't want it to be shaped funny. Still working the kinks out of the stream, folks.
See, that's the resolution that I'm operating on. So why is your screen?
You're at 1080p, right? So like, why is it so strange? Oh, maybe I have the UI scaled too high.
That might be it.
GUI scaling. Now it's at 100. Maybe it was different before. Okay. I mean, that is definitely squintier than it was, but if we have all the information, that makes it worth it, in my view.
Well, and just playability.
Yeah.
Because this game relies on you being able to see information, so.
Yeah. Okay, this is looking better already. Okay, back to my court. Thanks for your patience, folks. Yep, there's the start the search. That is such a weird thing. Okay.
I guess the GUI scale does not take into account the screen boundaries.
That's very interesting.
Which is, very strange to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my thought was GUI scale higher so that people aren't totally, if someone has this on their TV or whatever, but okay, that's fine. I mean, actually just...
Well, it seems perhaps as though 100% means this will be at the screen edges as we've designed it at 1080p. Maybe it doesn't scale automatically. I don't know. It's speculation.
For the record, sup concubines? There you are.
Sorry, I lost track of you.
One does hate to admit as a king when one has misplaced one's concubines, as the old saying goes. All right, I think I'm ready to let time progress again. And I think we're pretty much done fiddling with UI nonsense, and I think we're actually playing this video game now.
I mean, I've been playing this video game the whole time.
I believe you. Paused for a sec just to take a look at marriage proposal accepted. Oh, also, we have a court physician who may be found. The world's full of dangers, even to a Jarl. I have completely, by the way, said Jarl the last time we did this, many times, and then I buried my head in a well in shame. Anyway, world's full of dangers, even to a Jarl and his court. As for my request, my servants have inquired, blah, blah, blah. So here are the options. So... Lilo.
Oh, sorry. I had paused because I could not figure out why I had a negative balance, but I have figured it out. It was because I hired a court physician. And so yeah, I'm just going to be bankrupt for a minute. No big deal.
That's fine. What determines whether a court physician is good? Which...
So if you click on the character portraits over there to the right, you can actually bring up their character sheets, and you will be able to see their traits, one of which can be physician.
Oh.
It's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but... if they are a physician, then they are better at being a court physician, obviously. There are other stats that can factor in and other traits as well. Learning is the primary one that they're rolling against when they are trying to treat you. Things like mystic or scholar or erudite can also be somewhat helpful in my admittedly mostly Crusader Kings 2 based experience.
Sure. So Irkir is a brilliant strategist, which is totally irrelevant. A logistician. I can pronounce some of these words, which I don't know if that's relevant.
No, that's going to be a military skill.
Yeah. So therefore, let's just go with the one with higher learning. Below average learning is probably not what one wants. Ergo, Lilo. Okay. Starting time.
I just learned by passing over tooltips and such, that the game's mapping engine counts fjords as major rivers.
That's interesting.
Because mechanically, I think that's what it is that if you have long ships, you can traverse them like you could with major rivers. Let's see. My spy master is late for a council meeting. This time I will not let it pass. When I arrive at Kapi's chambers, I do not give her the courtesy of knocking. She is seated by her desk, writing furiously. As I clear my throat, she jumps out of her skin. She quickly stuffs a roll of parchment into her pocket and turns toward me with an uneasy look upon her face. Well, I have a 95% chance of not managing to return and search her chambers later in secret, so I might risk a 15 opinion hit to find out what it is that she's up to, because she likes me pretty well, but is a dishonorable lackey in terms of personality.
We're just rolling some real winners here.
Small countries have this problem. It is a convincing accusation. I learn of Kapi's deviant secret. Written proof. How considerate. So I can have a hook on her if I want and blackmail her. Which, reasonably useful if it comes to it.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to ransom this person for less than 1/10 of their asking price because I need money. Unpausing.
Cool.
We continue the ever-riveting saga of Adam attempting to pronounce Suomi.
You're doing much better than I am. I would bet you American cash dollars.
I'm trying to think of how I can make a little bit of money that way.
I can declare wars. Should I declare a war?
Well, you do
hang
have
on. Something just happened.
The warmonger.
So my neighbor, Chieftain Amma, won against my other neighbor, High Chieftain Tur. That's not great. I've warred with Amma before.
That'd be like Estonia? Sorry if there was a knocking sound there.
That's all good.
No. Well, Amma is
of
Kakasalmi.
That's right.
So if you click on the map mode of kingdom titles here, you can see that he is part of the Kingdom of Finland. For the most part, 2 counties in Kingdom of Novgorod, which is your territory. So we can split him up once I have a border with him. I also didn't look at it before, but the Kingdom of Estonia that you took, Narva from, is actually part of the Empire of Scandinavia. So I mean to grab that from you at some point.
Yeah, that's legit.
Future,
so
start looking at
for our alliance, would it be more useful for me to press on in Estonia?
Well, not necessarily. Short term, I'm sure it's kind of fine, but you would probably be better suited if you use the Empire title map mode. You can see what Russia controls de jure, and those are probably the titles that you should focus on first.
Okay.
If you have a pressing strategic reason to do something else, like don't let it stop you, we can always manufacture our own kingdoms and empires once we are big enough. So don't let it be stopping you from doing something that you absolutely need to do. But at the same time,
now that's helpful. I mean, this is a very good illustration of the difference between my holdings versus what the Empire of Russia would look like, which requires me to zoom out somewhat significantly.
Right, quite a bit.
Yeah.
So probably consolidating the de jure Kingdom of Novgorod first, which you hold most of, but not all of, already. And then starting to look at some of those other kingdoms that are in the Empire of Russia, like Bjarmaland, Vladimir, White Rus, Ruthenia, and Galicia Volhynia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If we do well enough and get far enough, the Windish Empire may be in your future. If I'm going for Scandinavia, then I may go south into Germania, or if you wanted to go east, I could take the Wendish Empire, could take Carpathia or Volga Ural, or we could just decide that we don't particularly want to be expansionist after a while and we'd rather do other things. This game will accommodate pretty much however you want to play it, as long as that does not involve, your entire dynasty dying out.
Right.
Or losing all their titles, I guess would be the other one.
So Minsk has shrunk a bit. It is a place I can reasonably declare war against. Again, for those just joining us, you have to have a reasonable, within your belief system, reason for declaring war before you can declare war. I think there are actually some traits that allow you to do so without having one, but they're niche.
Yeah, well, and then, other things open up. You can see on the Casa Spelli screen there that, there are little red exclamation points next to ones that you lack the prestige or piety levels to use. At the moment, I think you're limited to Conquer County, taking one county at a time from somebody, and then having a truce with them that lasts, I want to say, 10 years, and then you have to wait, or they can die, or whatever. So, yeah. Okay. A lot of considerations, but yes, there's an extra credits line. I forget exactly which one, but even in the ancient world, you couldn't just declare war on somebody for no reason. You had to have a Casa Spelli. And so they may be paper thin, or they may just be naked aggression, but it has to be something that you basically mechanically represents the process of getting anybody to go along with this.
So Raid for Captives. This is a special type of war started by a ruler whose faith practices human sacrifice. Oh my. The primary goal of raiding for captives is to do battle and capture prisoners for sacrifice, with either side able to get enough war score through combat to win without ever having to siege. That's interesting.
So yeah, it sounds like you can get your war score to win the war just by battles without having to conquer territory.
That's very interesting.
I don't know how amazingly useful it is. I mean, I guess if you're just trying to load up on piety, like if you wanted to reform your religion or start a splinter religion or something, that would be useful. But
right, but longer term, it's better to capture the duchy or the county if you can.
Yeah, well, there's no particular utility to having prisoners and just keeping them in your dungeon.
Right.
Sacrificing or ransoming them at least gives you piety or wealth or favors. Okay, I realize that I have been keeping us paused, so I'm going to unpause us.
Okay. So actually, one more quick thing. You can keep us unpaused. Sure. That's totally fine. But in this situation, if I were to declare war on Vologda, what is the sort of effective mechanical difference between conquering the county and subjugating the High Chieftain?
Okay, so if you click on either of those, it'll bring up both a cost in prestige or piety.
Oh, there we go.
As well as what the effects of victory and defeat specifically will be. And they do differ somewhat.
I see.
County just means that you get that county that you selected, I think, as your personal title.
Whereas I could get I could take his primary title and make him my vassal, and therefore get all of the stuff.
Right, and so you would get that ducal title and whatever vassals are beholden to it as well, and he would be one of those vassals then with his personal holdings, which amount in his case to 2 of the counties in Vologda out of 4.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to expand your territory, albeit somewhat at the expense of having a vassal who might hate you.
Right. And Vologda is well and truly outside of Novgorod, as it currently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you only have a couple of counties of Novgorod that you do not control. I think they might both be that guy to the north whose name I forget.
Someone is plotting to kill my son, Falky. We must stop the villain behind this, is my only option.
Yeah, you are. You've been notified.
Okay. I mean, good. My spy master is logging his billable time correctly.
Yeah.
That's good.
Most of the commoners living in Chiefdom of Kitka are of Sami descent. Proud of their traditions, it does not sit well with them that they must serve a foreigner like myself when my neighbor Chieftain Yurugu, maybe, shares their culture and history. So I have to decide precisely how I'm going to handle this without... Local tradition disrespected. Opinion... Respected. You know, if I can trade negative popular opinion in return for 150 prestige.
It does seem legit.
I mean, who cares what the peasants think, right?
They should have thought of that before they became peasants.
Exactly.
Take them away.
Somebody who gets it. County control. All right.
I am just having such a time deciding who to make war on here.
Well, the good news is that there really isn't much of a wrong answer.
Sure. I'm going to go for Voldoga. If I'm reading the numbers right, I can just completely stomp this High Chieftain, expand my territory considerably, and inch us closer to sort of pincering the entire region.
Yeah, he does have an ally.
How do I see that?
It's one of his own vassals. So
allies
up
3,
there
got it.
Under his, yeah.
Military strength 2135. That's okay. I was just looking at his martial ability. Where do I view my military strength? Mumble, mumble, mumble. Show me my jarldom.
An accountant, my kingdom for an accountant.
I love that play. Oh, those are my allies. I'm an idiot. I was looking at gotcha. So his his ally is a dang old toddler.
Yep.
And
right. His vassal, so not going to be amazingly effective.
I am gonna make war on this gentleman and his toddler ally.
Is it okay if I do not send troops to help you?
Perfectly fine. Their military might, even with the alliance, is vastly inferior to mine. This should be pretty quick.
One hopes. Best of luck.
And war were declared.
Yeah, so you can see it cost you 250 prestige to do that, which is the main reason why I have not declared a war yet.
Right. Okay, so we've gone ahead and raised my armies. I guess it takes 6 days for them to get raised, so nothing will happen until we restart time. So I'm good to start the clock whenever you are.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, hold on. Actually, no, I'm good. Yeah. Okay, let's do this thing. Now there's a war.
So there is.
Doing war stuff and fighting all of the people.
To quote one or the other of the Worms games, the first of many.
Oh man, I heard that so clearly in my head. Our My Kingdom for a Horse reference, there was a pack you could install where instead of first blood or whatever, oh hey, my wife is pregnant. That's lovely. You could have the little worm go, cry havoc, let's slip the dogs of war, which I did always enjoy.
That is very good. Worms Reloaded, I can attest, has cry havoc as an attack mark.
That's lovely.
For some of the teams.
All right, so I'm going to have my army. I'm assuming I should divide my forces and leave some at home.
I generally camp at least enough to discourage small groups on my capital, because one of the AI's favorite things to do in my experience is just send a bull rush towards your capital and try to capture you or your kids and force you into surrendering.
Let's pause a second while I do some stupid math.
Yeah, I let the supply limit of where I need to go dictate my army size. So like Vologda, the tribe of Vologda has 1,600 as its supply limit. So probably that's about the biggest army you're going to want to send in.
Okay.
Is about 1,600 people in a group.
Wait, where'd my first army go?
Guess I could conquer counties. That would do it, right? I also have this anxiety about Uppland honing in on my Finnish turf because they could very easily stomp me without breaking a sweat.
It's not ideal.
Together, we could probably take them on if they didn't have so many allies. But yeah, they're going to be a pretty big problem for me in the early going, I think.
Is there an easy way to join two armies together? I subdivided more than I meant to here.
If they are in the same spot, yeah, you can highlight the both of them, and then there's a button on that pane that comes up in the lower left near the X to close it that has two arrows pointing towards each other, and
Gotcha.
that will combine two armies that are in the same spot. If you indeed have
I see what's happening
split
here.
them by mistake.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay.
I enjoy reading the little blurbs about each of these polytheistic religions.
What are you learning presently?
Well, like not a ton that's like super new to me, but you know, like nobody ever really talks about the like Baltic polytheist you know, faiths that got rolled up,
Absorbed at some point, yeah.
Prussia. Yeah. So, you know, as adherents of the abode of inner peace, Baltic pagans focus on living in harmony with the natural world around them while preserving the traditions and stories of their ancestors. You know, whether that is a terribly precise historical description or not, you know, I can't speak to, and I'm not, you know, gonna take it on Jeopardy with me or anything. But you know, that's a nice little bit of you know, edutaining flavor text.
Well, that's another. Let's start time, by the way, if that's cool with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's Wall. I don't think that a scheme at court. Pausing. That didn't take long. My spy master has come to me with another. Wow, this spy master is really earning that salary. So he's certain that my chancellor, chief, my god, Pavio, is scheming against my. Oh, so we may know who's been plotting to kill my boy. Plotting to murder a 3-year-old who's not even the heir. What the fuck, dude?
Motivations are confusing sometimes.
So let's see. I can throw him in jail. Let the traitor be known to all. He becomes known as a murderer. He loses 20 opinion of me, quite understandably.
That's probably an imprisonable offense.
Yeah, I would
So if
say.
you wanted to throw him in jail, you could.
Let's do that. I spent prestige on the ability to do that as a tribal leader, so let's, you got to spend money to make money. Here we go.
I just saw a new petty kingdom to my north, or rather a new name for a petty kingdom to my north. Duornosiatnu, I think. I have no idea. It's one of the more impronounceable names that I have seen in this area, and that's kind of saying something. I think, again, impronounceable for my
sure,
regional dialect of Southeastern American English. But.
So I want to ask about that, for example, Baltic polytheism. I think part of the appeal of these games is that they do their level best to be pretty fanatical about research, but then it's a simulation, right? Like, stuff can get weird. That's in fact the whole appeal, is that things can be other than they historically were.
Right.
And then additionally, sorry, let me just select both of these armies. Yeah. Things can be other than they were. And then also, especially, toward the beginning of this game, we're going to pause here. Oh my God, did my other wife just die?
Oh no.
Good Lord.
I'm beginning to suspect something is amiss in Holmgarther.
Is there a Bluebeard trait of some kind, or...
I have actually had a thing where I had to denounce priests of my homebrew religion in my single player game for, in one case, having a secret basement in which he tortured servant boys.
Good God.
Yeah, it was intense, I think is a good word for it.
Yeah, I would say. All right. Well, welcome to the world, Rurik. Sorry about your mom. Let me, I guess, find another wife and hope that this one survives the month.
Well, she survived at least 9 months, right?
True. Okay, well.
Rurik the troublemaker is going to go to his grave thinking that wives are like sea monkeys. Just, watch them for a little while and then it's natural and they just,
yeah,
die in a couple of moons.
Spineless empath is a hell of a personality description.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say other than that. Just wow, man.
That's the thing.
Companionable.
As for me, when time starts again, we'll be doing some more raiding. So fans of raiding from last time, just know I'm looking out for you.
Much obliged. This is one for all the raiding fans out there.
Right, you might know this one from our debut album. It's called "A Raiding We Shall Go." And it's just a bellow. Guy starts chewing on his shield. A little berserker joke for you Viking fans at home.
There's some good deep cuts in this one.
Yeah. Doing nested historical reference shout-outs.
It's pretty on brand.
Yeah, well, and since you're over there in Novgorod, we could have them be Matryoshka shout-outs.
No, I got... Okay.
Oh, I came out for a second encore, but everybody was already leaving, so I just kind of snuck backstage again and hope nobody noticed.
All right, so I think it's about time to attack the High Chieftain of Volodga, excuse me.
Yeah, I do the thing a lot myself where I...
Start in time, by the way.
Yeah. Transpose letters.
Especially with unfamiliar words, and especially like unfamiliar sets of sounds.
Yeah, I have a frame of reference in my mind for what Slavic languages sound like, and so my brain will just be like, no, that's Volgoda. Nope, it's not. It's Vologda.
Right.
Well, if I try to make him diligent or patient, this is my son and ward, who is a compassionate lackey.
Okay. Charming.
Thing. is generous, and I can try to make him diligent or patient, but it will give me a nervous breakdown. So,
So I think in my
Sorry, kid.
religion, it's usually an okay thing to have important members of my council also be concubines. For example, my high priest. So I think my court physician is about to also become one.
Seems reasonable to me. Putting together some raiders while I'm paused here, so just a moment. Right, and we're gonna head to what? Onega?
You want a chancellor to have diplomacy, right? That's the relevant governing trait.
Yes.
Cool.
Chancellors have diplomacy. Oh, dang it. I had figured out, like, here's where we're going to go. This place has money. And then, no, not so much. By the time I got my raiders raised, it had already been raided by somebody else. So, that's how it goes sometimes. But, now, we can give that move order, and assign a general here. Champion. Lead the army. Okay, I am good.
Give me just one moment.
Or not unpausing, as it happens.
like the man said.
Sometimes I lie, it's okay.
It happens. I need to create some titles, I think.
I think this might be the only place in the map where there is just impassably dense forest. Like some of the interior of Finland is just trackless forest. Otherwise, I think forest is generally traversable until you get to like Siberia. Otherwise, I think it's mountain and desert that get untraversable. Edges of the map over by Apala, I suppose, are foresty. Remind me what you are accomplishing currently.
I am figuring out who to grant the title to.
If it is a local title, you can click on the territory that you want to give out and hit grant title from there, and it'll bring up like a recommended list of folks.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's way smarter than what I was doing.
I did not know that last time we played, so that is another one of those things that I could say that I have learned in my single player pursuits. So I think in order to get the screen that I was talking about, you may have to zoom in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And then, no?
So
like right clicking or clicking? Oh, I gotcha. Well, I made a choice. Now I got to live with it.
Gained a stress level. Why did you gain a stress level?
It's a good question. I don't see it in my ticker. Maybe that you could still be seeing it from when my wife died, or from when my wife died.
That could be. Well, yeah. About that.
Okay, ready when you are.
Yep. Unpausing.
Oh, hey, more things. Mental break, dark thoughts. Don't love that. Guilt and shame have been plaguing me as of late. All my sins, my flaws, my failings. These dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities and keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish, but what could possibly help?
So that's why your stress is,
Gotcha.
Every time you hit a stress level, you get a mental break. You get more severe the higher your stress level is, up to 3. And then if you are still above the threshold for a stress level by the time, like, I think it's 8 years has elapsed, then you will have another one. They are typically not great.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool mechanic because it's it's the real deal. You cope in some way, or else
Well,
the
and
issue
it
recurs.
makes your character's personality a consideration in a way that it wasn't in the previous game.
So donating to charity sounds great, but I don't have the money, and I don't want to do nothing. So therefore, I think I'm a drunkard now.
Well, it is in character.
Yeah. Easy choice. Okay, let's continue.
Oh, I am now the head of the Finnish culture. That's cool. Which
Mazel
means I
tov.
can finally maybe change my fascination to help myself get.
Finnish equivalent of Mazel tov.
Genuinely have no idea. I think really the only Finnish word that I know is sauna.
I don't think I knew that was a Finnish word, although it makes perfect sense.
As far as I know, it's kind of the only Finnish loan word that I know of in English.
So my army is standing right here in Volodya.
Uh-huh.
Is this not somewhere I can attack?
So the county of Vologda has been taken over by his neighbor from Manturovo. You are looking at the de jure duchy screen at the moment and not the political map.
Understood.
So if you are still at war, and you just have to go further in and then
Understood.
deal with Manturovo separately later.
I have an understanding. Who likes marching?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Have I got news for you?
Oh, please tell me it's good news.
So long as we're still agreed that marching is something we're into, it's great news. Let's do this thing.
I'm also marching, as it happens, to the Armia, I think. Yeah, tribe of Onega. And then perhaps the tribe of Kolmogori, which, boy oh boy, I'm having some fun with these names.
All right. Sieging we go at last. My real war is with this UI, but I'm getting there. Not that it's a bad UI, it's just a huge amount of information.
It is, and it took me a while to get used to, even playing my single-player game, because, there are considerations like the zoom level, that I was not used to taking into account in Crusader Kings 2. It's kind of like when your muscle memory for, one controller-based game, has to change over to a different one.
Right.
It's definitely been. Oh, what is this? The Onset. A sick feeling is rising in my stomach. I try to make it back to my chambers, but the door shrinks before my very eyes. What is happening? Suddenly, I can smell something. Something I know I've smelled before, but where? A servant asks me if I'm doing all right. But I cannot answer her. I cannot do anything. And my button is, how long was I gone? Boy, I think I am experiencing early onset dementia.
That's not great.
My poor guy is only 37.
Oh boy.
And he's temperate, which should help.
Oh, does that help with that? That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Well,
I don't know if it helps with dementia specifically, but it helps with your health overall. In fact, you can see a summary of that next to your age. There's a little heart that will give you a rough indication of how healthy you are.
I remember this, yeah.
And if you hover over it, it'll show you what's contributing to that.
Yeah, my health is now poor on account of my being an alcoholic and all, but...
Yeah, I did have a ruler in my single-player game who was very, very healthy, from a number of different sources, and had a pretty good court physician, but also had cancer and managed to live for like 10 or 15 years after the cancer diagnosis. But at the price of about every 5 years, when his court physician would come up and be like, all right, time to manage your symptoms, she would just lop off another part of him.
Oh God.
So by the time he died, he was missing a leg, an eye, and his entire face. He wore a metal mask.
Did he wear it until he loved it?
Well, not for very long. His face was the last thing he lost, so he only had about 6 months after that.
Gotcha. So may not have worn it till he loved it.
Yeah, on pausing.
You still there, by the way, Lucio? You've been quiet in chat, but I know you might be like, raising your children and other stuff, other such stuff.
Nerd. Oop, I have gained the trait possessed.
Oh, so
Lately,
I'm assuming as in obsessed, not as in a demon has you.
Oh, no. Possessed. The sudden changes in emotion, awareness, and ability that Kaleva experiences can only be explained by spirits inhabiting his body.
Okay.
So something comes over me, taking charge of my body, and leaves me tired and confused. I've tried to keep it from people, tried to hide it, but it is hard to control something that comes and goes as it pleases. They are looking at me as if I am possessed, and my poor guy looks very frightened. So yeah, that's a moderate health penalty, minus 10 attraction opinion, but my monthly learning lifestyle experience is plus 10%. So
Well then.
if I decide to become a scholar all of a sudden, I do not know what just happened to... Oh, okay, so I did raid this. I think what I'm seeing is that I have raided this place, but then somebody else came in to siege it.
I see.
And I was de facto helping with their siege because I was still standing there. So, mosey on. All right, I'm pausing.
I'm officially in debt, though not very deep in debt. Oh, I just took a city, so I'm no longer in debt. Good times.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. If it's minor, it's not that big a deal, but it can definitely start screwing with your, sort of domain territory, especially if it persists.
How do I unlock supply side economics?
I think you got to go back a little ways to the late Roman Empire, or just wait around until Reagan invents them.
Okay, sounds good. I think we'll be fine. We'll just hang in there.
Where is that Aztec invasion from that one expansion? Put us out of our misery before that happens. This was for those not aware, Sunset Invasion was an early expansion, alt historical expansion, to Crusader Kings 2 that posited that, okay, well, let's have the Aztec Empire discover Viking naval technology and then invade the western coast of Europe and Africa. Pretty interesting. Often just a reason not to play as Spain and Portugal in practice. But right, I'm gonna try to keep writing. I'm pausing. Ooh, this will be interesting. I wonder if I will in fact win this fight that I am now fully committed to. My troops are better, but my rolls so far have been worse. That's better. Oh, I lost a counselor. Let's replace you. Boy. No talent.
Oh, my High Chiefess is pregnant.
Congratulations. I need to pull up Google Translate and figure out how to say that in Finnish.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, my newborn son is scaly.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Boy. Not sure about that.
I'm thinking of that one Olgoff comic where the one guy is very, very excited to finally build a labyrinth.
Oh, right. The queen has given birth to an abomination.
That face.
Yeah, it's really, really good. For those who may be listening to this, Oglaf is what's the best way to describe it? pornographic but extremely seldom titillating, like sex comedy webcomic, I guess, with a real talent for visual punchlines. It's
and this is one of the perfectly safe for work entries.
Yeah.
The one we're discussing.
Correct, but if you visit the website, it will tell you. I think their warning says this began as an attempt to make pornography, but degenerated into sex comedy almost instantly. Click here if you're over 18. So yeah, if you go there, you never know what you'll find. I think it's unassailably quite funny, but often highly graphic.
Indeed. Seer, let's see, my spy master has had a child with a courtier out of wedlock.
The very gall.
Which is not cool in my religion in the game.
Thank you for clarifying.
I mean, sure, you'd think it'd be implied, but things get interesting in the ancient world. So I can say I don't believe it.
Oh, you've been in this double bind before, I think, where there's a drawback to either side. Yeah, I guess Asaru sexual politics are just miserable for everybody.
Yeah, no one's happy. Ain't no happiness nowhere. And also, now I need a new spy master. So,
as if everything else wasn't enough.
I hate Mondays. Oh, he was my steward. That was stupid. I
tried to just think about, like, what's a way to just unilaterally make any game worse? Add Garfield.
Okay. Prisoners who can be ransomed.
I'm just waiting for my raiders are way out in the boonies, and at any moment I'm gonna be counter-raided. I just know it.
I'm just gonna leave them in prison for a sec.
Feel free to languish.
Is there a reason to leave people in prison longer, or is it like, does the ransom go up or anything, or is it just like?
So there is each like position in society has like an assigned, almost like a Vergeld, to what their maximum ransom can be. You can offer to ransom a prisoner for less than they are worth if the person you are ransoming to just can't afford the full ransom. So you could be like, well, I could get 300 for this person, but you've only got 19, so give me the 19, you can have them back.
I see.
Otherwise, you can ransom them for a favor.
Right, the hook
I
thing.
haven't found a ton of use for.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how valuable a prisoner they are, I suppose. Okay,
the other reason why you might keep somebody in prison is if they are a title holder, particularly in your realm. They can't plot against you, and you can sort of extort them. I'll let you out, but only if you vote for my candidate for succession. That sort of. Kakasalmi is getting bigger. I don't appreciate it. Are you ready to go?
Yes,
I
am.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I was distracted, but we're enough people are happening by that we're getting spam bots, so that's some kind of milestone.
Well, cheers.
Did you know there are beautiful girls online? You can see them if you click here.
I don't know where here is, but I was aware that beautiful girls online was like a thing.
Some portion of why there isn't online, yeah.
I don't know that I have ever clicked here, but
and that's why your computer still works. There's nowhere safe to get porn ever since Tumblr decided to be prudes. Okay. I'm doing my best to get this banned. We're gonna leave the nudity on everything because you know what, Twitch, reinstate Robert Yang's gay sex games, you cowards. This is officially a protest. I'm gonna pause because something's going on.
Is that why we're not streaming on Twitch?
Maybe they actually did already cut us off. I don't know. There hasn't been any naked time in the event so far, but I don't know.
True.
Yeah, that's true. I want to get us back on Twitch just so that we can get banned from Twitch. Anyway, the little gourmand. So
fight with this platform.
Exactly. That seems wise. So Bjorn seems to have been having a difficult time at our latest feast. He buried his face in his food, and the only talking he did was asking for serving after serving. I mean, food is always a joy.
Yeah.
So he has the trait gluttonous. If I encourage this behavior, it makes him a worse steward, but it makes him resilient to stress.
Me too. Me too, kid.
And in the game. So gluttonous characters like him better, temperate characters like him less. That's cute.
That often happens where you have opposite traits.
Yeah. I'm going to let Bjorn be a glutton. Bjorn's had some shit to deal with. Whatever. Okay. My High Chiefess has had a child. That's lovely. Given that she's a High Chiefess, we'll do a goodest sure name. Such as Gorm, apparently. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son.
Just apparently on the end of almost anything. Very funny.
Okay, I might need to send some reinforcements, and I actually probably should have done it sooner. But I didn't, so such is life.
Indeed. Alright, you know what? I might have enough money to actually build some. Look at that. Oh, but it costs prestige too. The problem is that war is both the best way to spend prestige and the best way to earn prestige.
Yeah. Gotta spend glory to make glory.
Now I'm just imagining a world with like glory futures and glory commodities trading.
Oh god. The financialization of valor.
I feel like Rurik would be pretty glad that he didn't live to see that world.
Yeah, man.
I remember in my day you marauded for the joy of marauding, not to launder it.
It's like a Herman Melville-esque lament for the days when we slayed Leviathans, not to commoditize the tallow futures, but just for the joy of it. There's a Bartleby the Scrivener sort of a thing that happens on this timeline, is what I'm saying. The names are all unpronounceable.
Bjorn will be the raider.
Yes, exactly.
I like the idea of somebody being named Bjornolby. What an unfortunate person.
He would prefer not to.
I guess I always knew that having you be Norse Staru was going to lead us to doing Swedish chef voices eventually. I just didn't expect it to be so soon.
For anyone keeping score, it took 2 sessions. Okay, I think I'm ready to continue this nonsense.
All right. Yeah. On your mark.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm still hung up on Bjornolby. Oop.
More things. Oop, sorry. Unworthy peasants. Well, yeah?
I got some territory back from my guy dying. Cool. That's it. It just means I need to find a person.
So I see a child in a pillory. I can do something about it. excuse me, I see a criminal in a pillory. The child's like, can I bring him water? And whether I encourage bringing him water or spitting on him and beating him, I gain stress. If I just say, hey, he's a criminal, the hell with him, then I'm teaching my son and ward to be arrogant.
Which might not be a bad thing.
Mechanically.
Yeah, tribal society.
Okay.
I don't know what arrogant gives you off the top of my head, but...
I may have divided my forces too much, and I might be in some real trouble here.
Well, you have an ally you can call up if you need to. Smile. I will have to run my troops all the way back to Poyanma before I can send them all the way down to you, but I've got 2,000 of them, give or take. So, future consideration that you may want to take is dividing your forces so that they do not exceed the supply limit, but then keeping them all kind of next to each other within one move of each other in enemy territory, so that if you get attacked, you can just kind of like collapse onto the enemy army. That's worked okay for me in the past, at least. It's not a guarantee, but it can be helpful. Where does the forest stop being taiga and start being forest?
Basically screwed, actually. I'm not sure how that escalated quite so quickly. But,
Ruh-roh. Also, because we are not currently in the same war, I do not have the line of sight on you guys.
I mean, let's let this progress. There's nothing else to be done at this point.
Yeah, upon defeat, your armies will retreat, and you may be able to regroup, combine them. Call me in if you need to.
This will be educational. At the very least, this will be educational. Good to start whenever you are.
All right, let's do it. My raiding world tour has gone surprisingly well so far, and I'm kind of nervous about that because it feels like I shouldn't be doing quite so well. I'll take what I can get. Literally, I mean that's what raiding is.
Right, that's kind of the deal, yeah.
Another thing that may help, I won't probably be able to do it presently, but in the future, having men-at-arms regiments is a little expensive, but improves the quality and number of troops reasonably considerably. Ruh-roh. My 21-year-old son has died of internal injuries.
Ooh, that's not great.
And I'm about to have a mental break from stress because, yeah, my son dying has overwhelmed me. And frankly, I was pretty overwhelmed to begin with, what with being possessed and all. So,
yeah, that'll generally add to one's stress.
A little. So let me see if I can take this opportunity to maybe like host a feast or something that can maybe... Wow, that's dark. My decisions screen now includes one for attempt suicide.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I was paused when this happened, I was able to host a feast and retreat back down below 100 stress before I had a mental break. Let's see if it still summons the event when I unpause here. Pausing. Looks like no. A cheery gathering. The feast begins. Boy. Wow. Kids are all ill and stuff. Not amazing.
Don't love that for you.
Well, I got overwhelmed by stress again anyway, so... Yay! On move orders. Well, this is good. Difficult. And then see what else we can do. Pretty much nothing. So, mental break. Here I come. Unpausing.
Ooh.
Dark. Same one I had. Weapons. Oh boy. I can be flagellant, which gives me a health penalty, so I don't really want to do it.
Yeah, that's
Well, I
not
guess I have
great.
enough money to donate to charity, so let's do that. Alright, well, I'm pausing then. Feast disaster strikes. My lord, the wine. We cracked open the next barrel. It has gone bad. It has all gone bad. Feast is still raging, but without drink, the mood is sure to dwindle at a cruel pace.
I mean, yeah, man.
Spending some money to go buy some more wine gives me a 10 general opinion with my guests, and also 10 years of plus 0.5 prestige a month, which is a meaningful increase over my current rate. So
Yeah, I would say.
that's a pretty good purchase. Unpausing. How are things looking on your end?
Better.
Good. Very good. Or more prestige. Awesome. I have enough prestige to declare war now.
Hooray. That's what we like.
Get back to my...
It's not what I meant to do at all.
Get back to my own territory here. Which unfortunately there is no way to do without suffering 100 casualties.
That's not great.
The
Russian...
flew too high.
The Russian Soviet Soviniscan populists are creating a faction against me, so that's not super good.
Slovyanskan.
Thank you. It's not the only reason I'm glad you're here, but it is definitely one reason.
It is also a reason I am glad to be here, because I am not a polyglot, but I do enjoy futzing with language. Just making interesting sounds with my mouth.
Okay, we can go ahead and enforce these demands. Turned that around.
Make this awesome. That was quick. Very quick.
Once the reinforcements arrived, we were golden. I was just worried they wouldn't get there in time. We took more casualties than were strictly necessary and lost a battle, but, once they were there, all was well.
Well, that's excellent. I'm going to let my folks reinforce. Now, you have this exclave now, too, because other people took territory from Vologda while you were in the process of taking that. So now, Chudia and Montrovo make pretty good targets for when you are all, recovered from your...
Yeah, for now I'm going to disband the armies and give it a minute.
Yeah. Let your economy recover, let your forces kind of get back together.
Oh, Jarl Rurik, you troublemaker, you.
So, I don't know if you've messed with your men-at-arms at all, but it costs prestige to recruit and then also to increase in size up to 5 times each of these regiments, which, if you are getting enough prestige, is a really worthwhile investment. I'm about to use prestige to declare war, so...
I messed with that a little bit during the war, and that may be part of how I won, so I will invest more in the future, but for now, maybe not so much.
Yeah, perfectly understandable. I'll unpause if you are good.
Yeah, I'm good.
That apparently has become the sound of unpausing.
I'm into it. Bjorn in hiding. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Bjorn came to me complaining about Haraldur bullying him. He's been hiding all over the castle to avoid him. Good, do not seek trouble when unnecessary. Then Bjorn keeps the new trait, Craven.
Okay, so I got, and you may notice we are paused. I got the message, out of sync. My game state differs from that of the host due to some miscalculation done by the game.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting the same thing. It's just hiding behind my Bjorn in hiding thing.
Yeah. So my options are to continue in single player or leave game. I think maybe if I leave and rejoin, we'll be okay.
Yeah, let's try that.
You may still have to, like, you know, resolve this, stay paused, hit open in multiplayer or whatever.
Yeah,
we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and leave.
Okay. So I'm going to continue without you. I'm going to decide what to do about this. I just don't know if I can handle the stress. What does it mean when your stress goes critical? That's when you can have another mental break?
Correct. Yeah. You might be sheltered. I don't think it's been long enough for you to have another mental break, but you do need to have some way of getting back down below that threshold.
Right.
Have a feast, go on a hunt, binge drink, whatever your solution is. I have not done a whole lot with these stress effects. I've been pretty good in my single player games about staying below it, partially by having my characters mostly focus on learning, which allows you to do things like journal to get rid of stress. So
yeah. Okay. I am back in the multiplayer lobby. I saved just to be on the safe side. In theory, you should be able to rejoin. I think it's the same server ID.
All right. Well, I will just hit paste and see what happens. The ID.
I accept.
You wish to serve to me? I accept.
You are joining. I am drinking this whiskey. All is well. All is well all over the place. This is good. This has been good because we've worked out a bunch of technical deals. It's good because I've gotten better at the game, and we've also had some good little adventures. I mean, not good for our characters, but good from an entertainment perspective.
Yeah, well, you know, these characters, we are unto outer gods to them. Sure. So.
Okay. I think I'm good to continue time when you are. It doesn't look like anything. Doesn't look like anything got lost for good or ill.
Yeah, I think I just wasn't like getting the right roster of characters or something. It said, you know, it randomly checked the number of characters in the game, and mine was different from yours, and so I got booted, which is, you know, like fine. I would like rather it not.
Right.
You know, have the overall problem. So, yeah, I think we're good. I'll pray. No,
okay.
You have control of the game speed, and it seems to be at maximum, so you may want to
turn that down.
Yeah, see where we want to put that. But then you can unpause whenever.
What do you suggest? Normal, slow?
I usually keep it on 3.
Okay.
You know, for multiplayer. That's what I keep it on single player when we're at war. You know, so I have time to maneuver. Multiplayer, I find it helps avoid synchronization problems to not have the game rushing. But
right, we talked about this a lot. Yeah. At 3 pips, it's like basically a day every second or half second.
Yeah, okay. Second to second and a half, I think.
Yeah. All right, I was watching Sorker play with other children when Haraldur, I'm so bad at this, tried to push him over. The moment did not last long. Asoviker soon had made an entirely new game of it and forgotten the previous game entirely. So this gives him the trait Fickle.
There are certain traits that are pretty bad for an heir to have, but not the end of the world if you're not playing as them.
Okay.
Shy and arbitrary.
Starting again, by the way.
Steer clear of.
Noted. Why arbitrary? Just because that'll be just for obvious reasons, basically.
Everybody hates you if you're arbitrary and in charge.
That makes sense.
Guess I'm gonna.
Ooh, hold on, a whole mess of stuff just happened here.
Work on being avaricious. Yeah, that'll happen.
Oh, cool. My palisades are done. Those are good things.
Awesome.
Okay. Starting again.
Yeah, I hadn't checked it, but I was watching the stream at like 360p, which is where I couldn't read anything on your screen.
Oh, there you go.
Got a delay. I was like, world, and so yeah, now I've got it.
That was why I scaled up the UI. I thought I was solving that problem, but I created a different, worse problem where the buttons you need to play the game aren't on the screen.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting close enough to my screen that I can see it just fine now.
I'm gonna pause because I have a perk to unlock.
Although I don't think that this screen actually goes up that high. 77, 60 will be as crisp. No, it's not quite. Something about
starting up again, by the way. If you're
playing
good.
all this stuff in Northern Europe really has me having a lot of Therion in my head. A real challenge not to hum or sing it into the microphone. Violet apparently also really wishes to sing. I'm sure you can hear her.
I mean,
shouting in the background.
Wouldn't ask her to stop.
Well, I would. So.
Well, that's fair. That's your prerogative. Poor. So let's ransom some prisoners.
I'm gonna pause this for just a second while I declare my wars.
Yeah, good plan.
So let's declare war on High Chieftain Ihala II for 50 piety. And then perhaps we can simultaneously declare... No, he's got too many troops. Never mind. Not simultaneously. Not at all. Is my army here? If you're good, I'll go ahead and unpause.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
And we're less poor.
To make sure that I've got the best choice for commander here. Oh. Yeah, they've got higher quality troops than... Alright. Pausing. Okay. That looks like a victory to me. The slaughter at Sarakunta. Which really could be a metal song.
Truly.
Boy, this siege is going to take a year and a half. Whew.
That's quite a thing.
Yeah. There are certain things that I think I could handle about living in the deep past, but the potential for being conscripted into an army conducting a siege is probably not one of them.
Kind of with you. Are there buildings I should be prioritizing?
I generally go for things that are going to give me money, development, control, prestige, in roughly that order.
Cool.
I have not cracked kind of like the theory crafting, I guess, in the single player just yet. I've just kind of been, well, I don't know, this or that. Another thing to consider is that the things that you build now are going to be superseded if and when we go feudal. And you'll basically just have blanks again to work with. So, can make a difference in the short term. I mean, what do you need more of, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, okay.
Your holdings.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but generally speaking, construction will consume as many of your resources as you let it. And frankly, that's not a bad use for your resources if you don't have anything else waiting in the wings, because there's sort of a momentum that you can build by improving your holdings. Oh man, in just 2 months I get Sarakunta all to myself.
It's like Christmas Eve.
It is actually close to Christmas Eve. It's 16th of December.
It is like it, and it is it.
And
Merry Christmas Eve, and Merry Christmas, and Happy Boxing Day, and...
Boxing Day. Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year.
Boy, that's not going to get old.
No, not a bit. Not a bit. Well, I mean, I think it's okay to do it once, but don't need to make a ritual of it. I mean, if it gets to the point where Chad is doing it, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I guess I meant like if we just kept doing that, because it wouldn't be that long until Valentine's Day and then
Right.
St.
Oh,
Patrick's
for
Day,
sure,
and
for
then,
sure.
like, we didn't have to stop at all.
St. Swithin's Day. Yeah, no, exactly.
Start looking up feast days.
So I have a ton of. I'm a little poor in prestige and money at the moment. I'm gaining them, so it's not a huge deal. I have a ton of piety. What can I spend piety on? Or is that not the right way to think about piety?
No, I mean, these are resources that, as I think the tutorial will tell you, you are expected to spend. Now, if you overspend, it can knock you down a level of, fame or dedication, devotion, or whatever you call it. But certain kinds of casus belli cost piety. Founding a new kingdom is the sort of thing that costs piety, among other things. So there are a few things that you can use it on. The biggest single piety expenditure that I think you can have is crafting a new or offshoot religion. But we're probably a little ways away from being able to do that. Excuse me.
I see.
Well, my heir turned out to be pretty okay.
That's good.
He is an astute intellectual, which seems like maybe he beat the odds to accomplish that. Honestly. Let's see if we can find anybody willing to marry him who has both the ability to have children and decent congenital traits. The answer here kind of seems to be no. Sort this by age and gate it just adults. Boy. Not enough. Alright. My heir betrothed. What did I say? Did not expect to be doing this much housekeeping right here. Apology.
It's all good.
Here. I'll be your guardian.
Oh.
Few champions doesn't seem like the kind of thing I'm really going to be able to mess with too much. Now, one guy I can hire, but you know what? He has one prowess, so I don't think it's going to do me a lot of good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and unpause.
My 4-year-old's a covetous gambler. You'll love to see it, folks.
Just playing Sorry all day and all night.
Shoots and ladders, I guess, is a game of chance. Snakes and ladders. Or what's I can never remember the name of the pair of Indian games that's all based on, but those.
Nor can I. So you are not alone here.
That's closer to the time period we're talking about, though, is why I bring it up.
So actually, I feel like those are quite ancient. Probably still closer, but
oh, that's what I mean. Like they would exist in the 800s. Yeah.
Indeed. Let me. I paused to enforce my demands and expand my territory somewhat. So, in terms of getting a kingdom, I am still a ways away, but I am closer than I was.
Closer than you were is good.
Yeah, I am 9 out of 30 realm size to craft my own, or 4 or 5 duchies away from getting Finland. So, any minute now. Send my marshal to no. Disband my armies, and then probably before I unpause, gonna go ahead and declare my next war. Because
for sure,
that's how I'm rolling at the moment.
Moksha for the record, 2nd century. So yeah, but had been around for a minute. Although the folks we're playing as probably nonetheless hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, true. But hey, if we play in the Indian subcontinent at some point, we could change that.
For sure.
Uh, yeah, and Crusader Kings 2, the first time I played Rajas of India, I played as Gujarat and as Jainists.
Oh, cool.
Jains, I guess. And still somehow, Ashoka-like managed to become Samrat Chakravartin of all India. I feel like the contradiction there is reasonably historical, given that Ashoka was the original unifier of India and then decided to be Jain.
Right.
So I'm pausing, and honestly, not to take anything away from the accomplishments or the devotion level of sincerity, I did not know Ashoka personally, but I always did find it kind of funny, the story about him despoiling the kingdom of Kalinga and then going, whoa, I need to become a pacifist. Look at what my armies just did.
That's kind of great, though. I mean, like, that's a rare enough thing in history for someone to, I don't know, reconsider, change lanes rather than double down.
True, it's long enough ago, and there's enough folklore that there's a lot of, as far as I understand it, at least scholarly, sort of
for sure,
debate about veracity, levels of sincerity, things like that.
Certainly. But, when I say it's rare enough in history, I guess I also mean it's like rare enough in folklore. Like the celebration of not doubling down is a frequently unsung virtue.
Indeed. I am nervous about this.
What's going on?
I have 2,500 sieging, and they've got 2,800 incoming. I guess they had allies. I didn't think about that. Perhaps I shall call up Jarl Rurik.
Yeah, that guy might be helpful. Yeah, he's generally glad of war.
Expensive to call in an ally. 150 prestige.
Woof.
But sew up my, because I'm at war with most of the rest of Finland now. Whoops. So hopefully you will have gotten or will very shortly get a prompt there. So on pausing.
Okay.
Hoping for the best.
Yeah. I accept.
It does look like I'm likely going to lose this, but if I can regroup while you come in and start laying waste, then it'll all be worth it.
Gonna leave a detachment at home just in case, but yeah, I'll send most of my folks up shortly.
Oof. Yeah,
in fact, let's pause while I distribute real quick.
Getting mopped.
Is there like a best practice for how many troops I should leave at home?
Especially as you are not the primary aggressor here, I don't think it's particularly meaningful. And kind of they're going to have to go through you to get to your territory anyway.
Okay, I will leave a token amount, so it's not zero.
I would say let's look at the supply limits. We got 2,500, 2,800, 2,200. So somewhere around 1,600, is going to be the most that you can have long term in any one place as you get further into the taiga up here. So if that helps you figure out how many to leave at home.
Yeah. Okay. So, where do you need me? Do you want me to just go where the fighting is thickest there? Is that where, or is it a little late for that spot, and am I better somewhere else? And what I'm referring to is...
So the war will be over if we occupy the tribe of Mesokilia.
Okay.
I guess. So the war target there. So if you send people up that way,
I'm on
try
my
to
way.
avoid the main body of their forces until we can link up. May be a good idea. So if you want to head over through the tribe of Turku, and up to Satakunta or something, I won't know where they're going to go after they finish beating me. So, excuse me.
Let's see. I'm just trying to minimize casualties if I can.
Yeah.
Dang,
yeah, because that battle is definitely over. But yeah, maybe you can. Oh, you probably don't have the money to cross the water. In order to get to.
It's a good question. How do I learn that?
Question. If you right-click on an open sea, like the Gulf of Finland would be the one in question here, it should tell you if you're paused, and we are, how much it will cost you to embark those folks.
Interestingly, it is not doing so. Is that because I already have a army selected? Yeah, it's totally not.
Are you issuing them an order?
I was.
So, yeah, I'm seeing this on a delay, but oh yeah, 4 gold. You see it along your path there.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's super worth it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to send you 93 here as a gift because I can afford it, and that way, your 1.3 a month won't bankrupt you on my behalf. But yeah, you can use the Lovat and Volkov rivers because you are Viking.
That makes sense.
So you're able to navigate major rivers in a way that the rest of us are not.
It's cool for me.
But that would let you circumvent and just land in Satakunta if you want to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I see how this works. Okay, so I have to basically use the order I can issue is go to the Gulf of Finland, and then once there, I can issue additional marching orders.
You can also shift right-click to issue successive orders, if you wish to.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
This is an object lesson, kids at home, and why you look at somebody's allies before you declare war on them. Just because they have one county doesn't mean that they can't stomp you.
The more you know.
How are your wars looking?
Good. I think I need to tell the second army to stand down and stay home. The first army is set for sailing, and then they'll come right to where you need them. I think we're in good shape. Good to unpause when you are.
Cool. Unpausing. And watching my poor army melt away.
Oh, what a world.
Battle at Mesopotamia. Yeah, I lost like twice what they did. Oof. Not amazing. And they are chasing me all the way back to my capital, so... Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
Out of their warpath for the moment. What happened?
My religious leader has officially convinced one of the neighboring areas to convert to the faith.
Nice.
I knew she was a smart cookie. All right, continuing.
They appear to be pursuing me into my territory, which
Sorry,
does leave
pausing again.
Mesokilia open for you.
Oh, thanks for the gift.
Now you like me more. 55 more, to be precise. I'll be expecting you to roleplay this. Do be aware they are coming back, and I am still in shattered retreat mode, so I'm not going to be right hot on their heels.
Yeah, hopefully the siege will be in okay shape by the time they get there, but I mean they do outmatch me.
They are almost certainly going to eradicate you, yeah. So give me a second. Oh shit, I thought I had paused and I had not. Whoops.
Well, that money you gave me, I could use to hire mercenaries.
That actually would probably be better used. I might have money to hire mercenaries, and then they would arrive at roughly the same time as my troops. Give me just...
Is there any margin in running away right now, so I don't end up with no troops?
Yeah, if you can get out of there, try to move over to Satakunta. That's where I thought you were going to begin with, was friendly territory, so that we could group up together.
That is dumb on my part. Yeah, okay.
But, well, one of the things here is that the unfamiliarity of these place names makes it harder to coordinate.
Strategize. Yeah, totally.
But I'm looking into mercenaries, and if moving to Satakunta or any other neighboring place, honestly, gets you out of that battle that they are currently marching towards you on, then go for it. At the moment, it doesn't really look like that's gonna be the case. At least
How do I know
on
that?
my screen. So that little crossed swords with a minus there, right under your army where the move order is. So in no time do I know what you are actually seeing while I'm speaking. But that indicates, and you can mouse over it to see what you can expect the outcome to be, and it only appears when a battle is expected to occur.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you want to try to experiment with different move orders in different directions to see if that battle goes away or goes better, as you are moving to different places. I am currently shopping around for mercenaries, most of which I can't really afford. And worst case scenario, you guys have to retreat, and I just have to deal with it. There's a Finnish band of Mesokilia, which is the county I'm actually trying to attack here, would be a pretty funny thing to
Everyone loves a turncoat.
bring into battle. Because they're skirmishers with archers is different. Spearmen, cavalry, which I don't think they're going to have a lot of. Or maybe this Estonian band. No, maybe not. All right, well, hired. And orders given. Orders given. With, to whatever degree you can get out of there.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, and if you want to go hang out on Ulvila, which is the capital of the county of Satakunta there, once you have escaped or been driven into Shattered Retreat, that's where we'll try and meet up. And then we can salvage my mistake. Apologies. Pausing?
Yep.
Doot. Which is now the sound of the game on pause.
Yeah, we're fighting. Okay, so let's pause. Do I now have to fight this to its conclusion, or is there a retreat?
I am not 100% sure of the mechanics there, but if you click to move to, say, Ulvila, you may be able to withdraw. I don't know how that's going to affect your troops, but yeah, maybe. I suppose this is an experiment.
Yeah, it's really not letting me do that.
Unfortunate, but not perhaps
maybe because I'm technically the attacker.
Yeah,
Okay.
there could be any number of reasons. You're in the skirmish phase, I think. Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
All right, well,
exactly what's going on there.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that retreat mechanic is preserved in this game. I know it was present, if, kind of fiddly in the old one.
So I just lost an eye.
Oh boy, that's right. You were leading that army.
Yeah.
Whoops. Now they're coming to see me in Ovilia, so I'm gonna regroup elsewhere. Lingering resentment. Veli for some time. That seems like it might be a typo. However, he's finally confessed. He responded harshly. Now Veli by.
So I seem to be automatically retreating home.
Yeah, so when you are defeated, you go into Shattered Retreat and you head back to
Gotcha.
like a rally point, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what it prioritizes there. And then once you arrive, you can issue orders again. So I am consolidating my forces and going to try to see what I can do. I'll hang out a bit and see if we can't regroup again. Hopefully the funds I sent will help you tide you over.
I'm officially both one-eyed and maimed.
Boy, I hope that you're okay. I'm going to feel pretty bad if we murdered you in an ill-considered reinforcement maneuver here. Unpausing. Are together, so let's see what we can do here.
New claimant. Of all the buffoonery I've ever seen, Chieftain Kairo's inane efforts, to improve my relations with my neighbors. The good-for-nothing Chancellor has officially acknowledged High Chieftain Evriki's claim to the chiefdom of Belu Zero. You were supposed to make me friends, not enemies, bro. I kind of have bigger problems, with the maiming and all, so we'll move ahead. Oh, my counselor died.
He's offering a white piece, but I am inclined to decline for sunk cost reasons. I feel like we can win this. And if we can't, then, my hubris will be a lesson to our viewers.
What we're really here to do is create a parable.
That most noble of pursuits.
All right, I got my council sorted.
Where they're going. So their armies are now moving into the Gulf of Bothnia, and presumably going to try and flank me to get to my capital, maybe? I'm not sure, so I'm trying to kind of stay mobile, but that'll give you some time to regroup and head back my way if indeed you feel able to. All right, unpausing.
Hold on. Following the death sentence of a lowly thief, I asked my son Sorvker what he thought. He claimed he had learned a lesson about not reaching for more than one can handle. This will give him the trait temperate. I mean, okay. Groovy.
Temperate ain't bad. Where are you guys going? Probably Oulu. Or however one says that. Yep, I was right. And I'm not going to get there in time to keep them from sieging, but I may be able to get there in time to...
Looks like my new spy master has the iron mask thing you were describing, so that's cool.
yeah, being disfigured. Atso comes of age. He is a compassionate lackey. And
so I'm dying due to being maimed and also being a drunkard. I am meeting a somewhat ignominious end back here.
Oh no. Rurik, my friend, my ally. I hardly knew you.
Look, he died the way he lived, making trouble.
White. Oh boy.
So if I'm old and dying, is there a way to go ahead and pass the kingdom to my son, or am I the Jarl until I can't Jarl anymore?
Oh yeah, no, your health just literally says dying. Wow, I've never seen that before. I guess if you have if your decisions have the option to commit suicide, that's all.
Oh, that would be how you would do that. I see.
I think that there are, well, honestly, now that I think of it, I don't think abdication is really in this game, which is weirdly ahistorical until you think about what it would mean for, like, the rules and the systems at play, and the way that you know, pod person like us could exploit that.
Sure.
I feel like the things that can happen here are your physician could give you an offset that would put you back up to at least like poor. You know, if they try to treat your mabedness, or you could, at least in theory, get a experience trait that would, you know, give you a boost or a counter to your health penalties. But there are very few things that you can meaningfully do at the drop of a hat to help save yourself that I know of.
Sure.
So, yeah, severest apologies for that.
It's the game.
Yeah, that's what you get for tearing off your shirt and charging into battle, chewing on your shield. As I assume is what resulted in the loss of your eye for reasons of dignity as much as anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean better to gouge with my shield than to come home on it. So, you know.
Boy, that's a historical collision. Are you okay to unpause?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to decide who's going to take care of my children.
I mean, it's a good thing to know in a situation like this, for sure.
Okay, I have died. I'm going to pause while I handle my affairs here.
Yeah, by all means.
Jarl Rurik has joined the feast in Valhalla at 54 years of age. A ripe old age for a troublemaker, it must be said. He died from his internal injuries, although quite famous for his sharp intellect. He could still not outsmart hell. All right, so...
Sharp intellect. Interesting.
Yeah, that's not what I would have known him for. I mean, not that he was a dummy, but statistically, that isn't his most notable trait, is it? Anyway.
No, well, and like his learning is 4 in death, at least.
So I lost a bunch of titles in that succession too, but
yeah, Confederate partition will absolutely do that. Oh, your realm split. That's right. You had 2 ducal titles. So,
that's right.
Yeah, your brother is now the Jarl of Luki.
Well, this doesn't make things boring.
Yeah, Vologda is another Rurik son. Sorkver. As Vologda. So yeah, you've got some more war goals, I guess. I feel that I have very much indirectly murdered Rurik the troublemaker. Whoops. For what it is worth, I am currently winning a battle against the army that inflicted those wounds.
Honestly, nothing would make Rurik happier.
I believe that. I wonder how much longer I've got. Because my health is fine at 42, but possessed is definitely a minus to it. Offset only by temperate.
So the 9-year-old Jarl of Vepsia, I might be able to arrange his death.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Now I might be discovered. There's a 35% chance of that.
Mm-hmm. You are his primary heir, though.
Let's risk it. As the bard said, shit is fucked up and bullshit right now, so...
Well, I think you have to put the falling stress on the second syllable of fuck and make it like fucked to make that
right.
iambic.
That's true, yeah. Shit is fucked up and bullshit. It's pretty as if you drop the last syllable, but okay. Protecting against schemes, gotcha. Having a spy master is good. Not if he's as bad as my spy master. Your character's faith may say you can have a realm priest on your council. These bishops hold immense power. They are more than willing to share it with you, should you stay on their good side. Okay, cool. I gotta choose a lifestyle. So, the martial lifestyle certainly makes sense. While not quite as tremendous as his father.
Yeah, well, and, often your education will tell you like what you're going to get an experience bonus for in terms of lifestyle trees, and so you have a military education. Jarl Helgi the Seer is a skilled tactician. It's his education trait, so likely you will get picks faster from the martial lifestyle tree.
That's all good. Then we have an empty council position. Oh, multiple empty council positions. So,
Nothing but empty positions, as far as the eye can see. I assume I'm not caught up. My stream is quite a lot behind you, as it turns out.
I'm missing several. High time for a new spy master.
So being bankrupt like I am for long enough, like I have been,
Yeah.
gives your domain counties these fairly long-lasting, honestly, little debuffs, county corruption debuffs, that I am. The cruel irony of it, right, is that going into debt and getting these debuffs means that your counties are less productive, and so you are making money more slowly as you try to climb out of debt.
And in the game.
Yeah. Boy. I gotta go lie down.
Sorry, that got a little real. I think I'm ready to progress. Long live Jarl Helgi the Seer.
Yeah. And so you have just seen firsthand why having a single primary title at a higher level than all of your other titles is useful, because that primary title will then go to your, official heir, and usually, unless there is a de jure wrinkle somewhere in there, the other kids will then be his subordinates. Now, that can also be dangerous because they often have claims to that primary title and will conspire to take it from you, but they're not independent rulers, at least. All right. Unpausing?
Hang on, I was just zooming out to illustrate what you were talking about. Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right.
My plan has been revealed.
Oh, your murder plan?
Yeah, that one. I gained 14 dread.
That did not take long.
Yeah, right? The young Jarl has lost 100 opinion of me. That's reasonable.
Pretty reasonable.
His family's not my biggest fan either. All right. Bad first day at the office for our new Jarl. Starting the clock.
All right. Battle again. Awesome. Okay, now let's head back down. Oh, hang on. Am I getting raided? Is that what's happening? Did somebody decide to raid me in the middle of this war? Yeah, that's precisely what happened.
Woof.
You know what? Happy hunting. Raid away. I'll be back to deal with you after I've conquered Mesukila. However it's said. Okay. Well, our war score is positive now, so there's that.
That is definitely not nothing.
Yeah, if you get the chance to send some troops up to Satakunta, once you've regrouped, it would not go amiss.
Absolutely. I'm going to leave a small detachment at home.
As is your right.
I have 2,600, give or take, that could go up there. You're saying there's no point in sending more than 1,600, though?
Some of the if you're going by sea, you could send as many as 2,700.
Okay.
If you're coming by land, I think 1,600 is about where the supply stuff is going to cap you out.
So since my dude probably likes both eyes about where they are, let's be clear about where we're meeting up this time.
Well, you also don't have to be the general in your own army if you don't want to. You can change that.
As a role play decision, I don't know that this Jarl is gonna stay home when his father just covered himself with glory and died in the process.
Fair enough.
But good to note mechanically, for sure.
In the future.
Yes, absolutely. That's actually
ever have
something I have not considered at all is who is now the heir. So that is this tiny baby. 8-year-old Haraldur Helgason Rurik.
Yeah. Haraldur Helgason Rurik. If we're doing the Swedish chef thing. I will also note that you appear to no longer be a Staru. You are now Slavyanskan.
You're quite right. I noticed my son first, but yes, that is entirely true. And after I went to all that trouble to convert the locals.
Well, only a couple of them, frankly. Mostly your territory is still Slavyanskan.
That's a fair point.
And it's a little bit of a benefit to you, if only in a tertiary kind of way, because the son who got Luki is still a Staru. So his people are not going to be as happy with him as yours are with you.
That is nice.
For having adopted their religion.
Things could be worse. Okay, so where am I taking these troops?
Satakunta, western coast of Finland, off the Gulf of Bothnia.
Okay.
Just next to the county where Rurik lost his eye.
Dude, too soon.
I was just trying to use chronicler language, frankly.
Fair enough.
In the year of Rurik's eye, dragons were seen flying over Viangi in the north. This dolorous portent predicted the loss of the Jarl's eye and later his life.
That was well done.
I mean, it wasn't English was the problem. It really needed to be in Latin or Old Norse or
someday. Okay, so I have planned a sea route.
What happened to the A and B routes?
Well, A lost me an eye, and B lost me a Jarl.
Dude, just let it go, man. Just an eye, come on.
Can we have one feast without you bringing up the eye thing? Okay. I am ready for time to move ahead again.
All right, let's go then. Let's get further from that incident so we can joke about it without anybody getting prickly.
Am I prickly? I didn't mean to be prickly. I think
no.
It's genuinely good storytelling.
Doing the bit. Oh boy. The road. My steward Ukko informs me that that's the wrong road. Informs me that there is a desperate need for a new road to traverse the chiefdom of Sigavara. Yeah, agreed. More roads everywhere in our territory, frankly. Many of the old roads are dilapidated and dangerous. A commoner by the name of Rigi has been put forward as the natural leader of construction. Rigi Kuni seems pretty good. Is my stewardship better? I don't think it's likely to be better. Very slightly, but you know what? See it done. Okay.
I'm trying to get my religious leader to like me, by the way, and I have a scheme going, but also I can send her a gift, but sending her the gift increases my stress by 32 because I have the greedy trait.
Well, interesting. This says that Slavyanska Pravda does not have a head of faith.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, hold on. What is this person to me exactly? My Vidunia.
Oh, like your chaplain or your council person.
That is right, yes. I could just appoint someone who likes me better. That's the other option.
Or you could just brush it off. It doesn't particularly matter how much your religious advisor likes you. Not in the same way that it matters if your spy master likes you.
It's a fair point.
Okay. Good on pause?
Give me 1 sec.
Hey, no. Time. Definitely going to need to move my capital once I have more of Helsinki. Boy, because the capital of Finland is Helsinki. Once I have more of Finland under my control, because as it turns out, having your capital be located in Taiga gives you
presents some issues.
Yeah.
Okay, I am ready to continue existing.
Continuation.
We did decide to brush off this person's opinion of me.
Okay.
I set my fucks given to 0. Unlocked a perk. Good for me. We're all very proud of me.
I am so close to being out of debt. -3, and yet I get 0.7 per month. So it's going to take a minute.
Do you need money? Because I mean, I'm not flush with cash, but like, would it be more helpful if I sent you some, if I hired some mercenaries to fight in this war?
Probably reasonably okay, and also reasonably expensive to gift, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
All right.
My steward seems almost shocked. I've been inspecting the road construction in Sigavara, and the peasant workers are so much more efficient than I expected. Even I might learn a thing or two from them. So,
Cool.
learning from peasants, the very thought is abhorrent.
We didn't actually make the peasants a revolting joke on the stream yet, did we? I'll say.
Well, I don't think my peasants haven't revolted. Have yours?
Oh yeah, multiple times. I've put it down, no problem, but no, they've only full on revolted once. There've been some factions that kind of fizzled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Why my peasants haven't revolted once? I'm not sure what you're doing wrong, but
how much time you got?
20 minutes.
Okay, well, there was my ill-conceived war, there was my allies' ill-conceived war, there was the whole faith thing, and then there's every decision I've made.
I'm gonna unpause.
Okay, let's do it.
That was very funny though. All right, so I've got this siege going. I am, oh boy, the sacking of Sumbio. With the fall of the settlement of Sumbio to the High Chieftain Baevi, much of Greater Sumbio has been left bare, rampaging Woladat looters. As there are few local fortresses of size to oppose them, the raiders have carried off every precious item and scrap of silver they can find. Yeah, I can't pay a weregild, so I'll just take the prestige hit. Alas. Yeah, they're way up north, so I can't really do much about it. So, for the moment, if you can hang tight, that's perfectly useful, and you'll be next door if we see them coming.
That's all good.
And then we can pile on. And you can get some prestige from that contribution, and otherwise, you'll just have gone on a little bit of a vacation. And that'll be all right.
So, real quick, I got a little situation here. So, I have a prisoner, Chieftain Ingvar of Pskov.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I pronounced none of the words in that sentence, including of, correctly. But his chiefess seems to be flirting with me.
Okay.
And I can go ahead and sleep with her, I guess. I can call her gendered slurs in front of everybody, or I can keep my heart pure, in which case she likes me less, but I gain some piety.
Well, looking at Slavyanska Pravda, male and female adultery are both criminal. So, unless there is a specific reason why you want to sleep with this guy's wife, I mean, game reason.
over and above, you know, screw that guy and the horse you rode on. Over and above, she seems nice. Yeah, I gotcha.
Then I would say probably take the piety and run.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, I can ransom him. Is he going to cause you trouble if I let him out? This particular guy?
Well, that depends on who he is and how much he likes you.
He's Chieftain Ingvar of Skov. He's not my biggest fan. He's in my dungeon, so that's reasonable. He would not think any better of me if I let him out. Well, if I ransom him, he wouldn't think any better of me. Well, no, yes, he will, because he wants his freedom and blah, blah, blah. I don't see any reason not to take the gold. All right, good, great.
Very useful.
I wanted to check with you because not that guy. That's the guy who's going to lose this war for us. Okay, I'm ready to go when you are.
That guy spat on my grave, and I'm not even dead yet. Unpause.
Violating causality to be as disrespectful as possible.
You know, I can groove on that.
I'm getting attacked at sea.
Where is that?
No, wait, maybe I'm not. Am I just chilling? Where the hell am I? Let's see here.
This is where that delay in the stream becomes a problem. I don't see an enemy army particularly close to you.
No, I'm good. Sorry, I saw the ships in the water and for a moment forgotten that I'd already arrived, so I'm just hanging tight. Right. Cool.
I'm pausing. Yeah. If they don't come to face me, 5 months until this siege is done, and then we'll be done. Okay. Let's see.
You don't want me to join the siege though. You just want me to stay where I'm at in case they come around this way.
Is going to be kind of a problem there. So
yeah. Okay.
The road, Ruigi's expertise. It is not often a commoner addresses me directly, but Ruigi reports on the construction efforts in Sigalara. Time for the road was to pass through this field, my liegeness. Sorry, that's actually a really funny joke.
It's really quite good.
But I know the kind of soil we're working. Mighthaps my peasantness could request that we reroute it through the nearby forest.
Big fan of mighthaps.
Oh no. I want to say I trust your judgment because it increases the road quality and progress, but it costs 50. Darn. Well, you know, I'm not getting any less in debt, so this road will last well beyond my current poor, possessed, magnificently bearded high chief.
Is possessed a heritable trait?
I hope not. It says health trait, so I don't know. Unpausing. Getting just turbo rated.
Hold on, I'm pausing. My wife, High Chiefess. Wow, this is an especially difficult one to pronounce. Zabijak? Przbijak. I don't know. She's once again absent from my chambers as night falls. She has been distant lately, lost in thought, and rarely at court. Am I not to her satisfaction? Is she simply busy, or could she be warming, I should say, someone else's bed? I can talk to her about it.
So, I do not know how this is pronounced, but my best guess, based on my limited knowledge of how Polish is pronounced, would be Przbijak.
I like that. Przbijak. I lived in Chicago long enough that I should be better at this. But the honest to God truth is I never got better at sounding it out. I just remember when people tell me how their own names are pronounced.
Right, which is a very reasonable way for that to work.
Yeah. So Przbijak. So basically I can confront her about it. I can start spying on her, or I can just ignore my suspicions and shake it off. This is totally opaque as to what the mechanical significance of this decision is, and I assume that's because it depends on the outcome.
Well, yeah, and then it depends on the person and whether or not they are actually doing anything. Like, so
Yeah.
even if they are doing something, different actions can have different results when combined with different personalities and traits of your spouse. So.
She's a fearless blackguard, so whatever that tells you. Confronting her about it or spying on her are both narratively interesting.
True.
No, I'm just going to talk to her.
Yeah, she's sadistic, arbitrary, and brave, so probably conflict is going to, go poorly if it breaks out, but, it depends on whether she's actually sleeping around or not.
Yeah.
And whether you care.
I as role-playing decisions, I'm not sure about the answer to either of those questions, so let's just force the issue. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm good to go when you are.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm forgetting how far the stream is.
Let's see what the outcome is. How can you even say such a thing? I would never take a lover. High Chieftain Kaleva seems genuinely upset and denies the accusations. So she likes me 10 less, and nothing else happened.
No, hardly the worst thing that could have happened. Also, the naval forces of the enemy here are trying to go back to my capital. So
that's not the best news.
If you wanted to detach like 1,700 guys, maybe, actually, your whole army it can be accommodated by the supply limit in my capital. So if you, I know it puts them a ways away, but if you want to maybe march up to Oulu, that might not be a terrible thing. In the meantime, the road, marching boots. With the ongoing war, levies are using the completed parts of the road in Sugawara to quicken their march. Thankfully, heavy use is exactly what is needed to stomp the ground into shape. With some luck, most of the levies may come marching back as well. Interesting. Military structure. Road quality. This is the priority. I'm pausing.
Sorry, where the hell is Olub?
North and east from where your army currently is.
Okay.
Maybe if you zoom out just a little bit, not to the like political map level, but I mean, again, from where you are on my stream.
Yeah. We should maybe start. Also, I should also show you what I got via Discord in subsequent things, so we can eliminate this problem. But okay,
yeah, so it's where my banner is essentially.
Okay,
but
I should know your banner by now better than I do.
It's Poyanma, the only one you'll see on the political map.
Okay. Oh, here.
The wolf head on a yellow background.
Okay, so that's where I'm marching. Gotcha.
Yeah, because they're taking the navy around and they're going to try to siege me.
Okay. The orders have been issued. We're ready to go.
All right. I'm pausing. The siege should be wrapping up relatively soon. Honestly, you may not even make it, depending on what this does to the war. Should, theoretically, just be the end of the war because it's all of his territory, but given he has allies, yeah, only 50%. So I'm going to move to start sieging some of the allied areas.
So my heir is now a glutton. Am I more worried about gluttony if he's the heir?
Maybe somewhat. Which I know is not amazingly helpful, but
we don't want shy. You said shy is one of the worst ones.
Shy just means that a lot of the decisions that come in. I had a shy ruler, in single player in this game, and a lot of the decisions that are part of ruling. Things you may want to do as a ruler and those events that pop up give you stress if you're shy.
Gotcha. And is impatient better than shy or gluttonous?
I think I have been able to cope with impatient pretty well, if memory does serve, which
let's let him be a glutton. I've made the decision.
Yeah. end the decision. Or...
Okay, ready when you are.
Yeah, just working through some army troop disposition kind of things here real quick. Or I say real quick. It is my intention for it to be quick. It may not actually end up being very quick, if I'm honest. That trick. For a sec. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Sure that my commanders are where they need to be. Thanks to all of the time I have spent playing XCOM, the word commander is forever indelibly in my head, said in the voice of the little Shadow Council representative
Sure.
of XCOM Enemy Unknown. Commander.
What a good game.
Pausing. Yeah. I'm going to play the second one.
I haven't either.
Arguably even better.
I gotta play that. Oh, hold on. We got a little situation. A commoner of Polabian heritage has been accosted in the streets over some minor offense. By making a statement in their defense, I could perhaps convince Mavdunia Eva, the equally Polabian, of my good character, but I might risk alienating my Norse peers. This gives me 9 stress because I am arrogant. I could also gain 75 prestige by being a supremacist about my Norseness.
Yeah, prestige is
valuable.
Yeah, especially currently.
Yeah. All right. Norse or bust. Let's do this thing. Ready when you are.
Ulfric Stormcloak. What? Oh.
I think we both unpaused it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're also down at 2 speed at the moment, if that makes a
I don't know how that happened, but up to 3 we go.
Right. The road, a distant fief. Progressing, goes beyond a hill, far from both villages on either side. Owns the fief beyond the hill. Really don't want to pay for anything, frankly. But also, I wouldn't mind having this, so... not that great, honestly. Pausing.
Yep.
Road had better be just a...
The thing I got to get better at doing quickly is zooming out to get the correct unit of regional naming information.
Yeah.
Especially because these are not familiar place names to me.
Right. Well, good news is you seem to be chasing them off from their siege at Oulu. That's gracious. Even the unfinished highway has highwaymen, it seems. Rigi has problems with supplies that never arrive, and workers who are scared of leaving their villages. At this rate, the road in Sigvara will never be.
I love that while we're pursuing this war, it's been infrastructure week back home the whole
Well,
time.
this is the sort of thing that I would love to be able to do electively.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like, oh yeah, let's build us a road. I do a lot of infrastructure stuff once I'm feudal in these games, but boy, the timing is just rotten.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pausing. Defender controls war target is not true.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, nope, that is true. Evidently, he owned another county this whole time, and I didn't know it. So
Okay, so we
whoops.
we caught up with them, and it went well.
Excellent.
Or it is going well. I think it's not technically over because we're paused.
Yeah, they're still retreating. We're paused because, according to Ruigi, the work on the road in Sigvara is going well. Ground is firmer and stretches flatter than we hoped, my lord. So,
Grats on the bomb-ass road.
yeah. And it's about as far north as you can live in Europe. So, holding taxes increase for that one. Control growth increases for that one. Increase for that one. Alright, let's do that. Okay. Boy, a lot going on. Alright, unpausing.
Yep.
War score 55. Thank you for your contribution.
But of course.
You'll be awarded some prestige on your way out. Actually, you should really do that like a Cave Johnson. Thanks for your contribution. You'll be awarded with some prestige on the way out. I don't know how he'd finish that, though. Prestige in this case comes in the form of chocolate coins. Everyone's favorite.
Carolyn, we got the chocolate coins, right?
Yeah, there you go. You got us there. Prestige in this case comes in the form of chocolate coin wrappers. Hope you enjoy. The end of the road network through Sigvara is finally complete. This might very well be the best roads in the entire realm, my liege, Ruigi announces with pride.
They better be after this entire side story.
Excellent road network for 30 years is what the payoff at the end of that is.
That ain't nothing.
Do wish it wasn't on the very periphery of my realm, but whatever.
If we discover some strange transhuman Northmen that are yet undiscovered, you're going to trade with them like a boss. So I don't think that can happen in this game. In fact, I'm quite certain it can't. But okay, so how can I be most useful in the war effort right now? Should I stay where I am? Should I head back to the rally point I was at, or is there somewhere else where I could potentially be useful?
Let you know momentarily. Monthly income while at war plus 10%. Don't mind if I do.
Yes, please. I'm at an interesting equilibrium where having armies raised, costs me 0.0. So like I'm not. Yeah.
I'm still gaining money a lot more now since I clicked that, but I am still bankrupt. So, okay. I think if you want to go lay siege to Pilinen, which is south of where you are.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, the barony there is in the little, rightmost extremity of that weird V shape. The supply limit there is 1720. So you won't necessarily be able to bring everybody, but you can, park your current army, in Oulu and split it up if you need to. And that'll give us, I'm going to be moving into Olavinlina, which is the other county that apparently I need to pay more attention when I click declare war in the future, because this is apparently where my efforts actually should have been focused this whole time.
Oops.
But yeah, little oopsie. It's just a war. It's no big deal, right? Fine. And I think I'll probably move my 12 knight here just to kind of safeguard my holdings in their territory so far. So, yeah. Good on pause?
Give me 1 sec. I'm not happy with the way I divided these up, so I'm going to
Take 10 seconds.
redo it real quick. So I can have up to 1,700 where I'm going.
That's 1720 specifically, if that little bit of wiggle room helps.
It might at that.
Oh, excellent. Upland fragmented.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. They still outmatch me, but
Okay.
currently.
I am now ready for... No, that's the wrong faction. Or is that... No, it's the right faction. Okay, yes, I'm ready. Faction's the wrong word. It's the wrong detachment.
All right. Go
Okay.
ahead. Boy. Yeah, supply limits are real brutal up here in the taiga, which is perhaps not surprising, but
Yeah.
lively livestock. As additional payment, I find myself in possession of a large herd of cattle. Huh. Development growth is very nice. Hey, 15 years of a large herd of cattle. I'm pausing.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right, so we're arriving for the siege shortly.
And I'm going to siege the central bit here. Oh no, I have an inefficient census.
That happened to me last time we played.
Yeah, I remember. That sounds familiar. Okay, we have basically corralled their 1,300 or so troops here, so hopefully that'll...
Maybe we want to pause, because I seem not to be sieging them. What am I doing wrong here?
Oh, they may not be part of the war, I guess. It looked like they were, but it's hard to tell because they're surrounded on three sides by...
I think
they
they're
may not be in the war.
Yeah.
Well, you want to just come attack this army of 691 to your south?
I mean, yeah, man.
Yeah. It's
What am I gonna not?
oh.
Being raided. Let's probably look into that real quick. King Nalka of Estonia. Estonia established a flippin' kingdom while we were otherwise occupied.
I think it's been a kingdom. I think that Estonia starts as a kingdom.
Oh, that would make sense, I suppose. So where are the raiders? How do I see this?
On, finish that siege. You got this. There we go. War 1.
Hell yeah.
Whew. Alright. Well, now I'm in this whole other war. I'm the new target of the Kielenian claim in the chiefdom of Olavinlima. Okay, well, my dudes are right here.
So I'm being raided. What can I do about that? This hasn't come up before.
Yeah, find them and attack them would be the main thing.
I don't
There's not a
see
whole lot else you
their
can do.
I don't see their army / raiding party though.
Well, if you're not getting the notification anymore, it might be gone.
Maybe.
They might have just dipped in and dipped out,
Yeah, okay.
like raiders do.
They might have seen they might have seen that my troops came home and fucked off.
The other main thing that you can do is not an in the moment action. Activity is a weird way to put that. It's not an in the moment thing you can do, but you can secure your stuff against raiders by fortifying it. At least that was the case in the previous game. The available loot should go down as your fort level goes up. And then, the amount of damage that raiding can do to your finances and to your counties go down as a result.
Gotcha.
I am probably going to have to kind of sign off here.
That's a decent place to stop,
soon.
though.
Yeah, we have finished this war. We can go, long enough for you to see to the safety of your people, of course.
Yeah, let's so hostilities
As
for the raiding will
necessary.
end in 3 months. So let's just see if this pops back up, and if it does, I'll pop him on the head, and if not, we'll consider it a dangling thread. We'll pick up next time. That cool?
Sure, that sounds perfectly fine to me. I'll need to try and consolidate Finland at that time. So
Yeah, so I lost a lot of territory, but that happens in the current political system we're in.
Right. And it's both a benefit and a drawback that they are siblings and family to you. It means that they are unlikely to have, like, really good Casus Belli on you. But it means that you are unlikely to have really good Casus Belli on them.
Right.
In turn. Actually, something that I should do, that I forgot about entirely, is I could give out this holding that I just got. Domain. That's not helping anyone. Boy, I have kids, don't I? Got a vassal there. Are we unpausing?
Hostilities cease in 42 days. Did I say 42? Because I meant 32. I mean, time moves quick in this game.
Yeah, it does. It does at that. What's very funny is that I inherited, when I got the county, I got the war for the county on the part of its neighbors.
Oh, funny.
And several of the people who were fighting against me when I was taking the county are now fighting with me now that I own it.
So I have a new son.
Mazel tov.
Whose name from the bottom of my heart I cannot pronounce. Let's see here. What is that first character? How do you say that?
Let's see. You have a new son. New son here. Oh, that is a uppercase Thorn, so that is also a TH sound. Okay. That is Thorolfur Helgison Rurik.
Yeah, I mean, that's irresistible. That's your name. Grow strong and wise and unpronounceable, my son. Okay, well, the raid is over. The war is won. My kingdom has shrunk a bit, but I no longer have more than I can chew bitten off. So, I mean, some territory was sort of both gained and lost for me in this same session. Mm-hmm. But, I've stirred the pot politically. Next time, my priority may be to do something about Estonia. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good session. Anybody watching this, thanks for rolling with some of the technical stuff at the beginning. Honestly, it's a decent troubleshooting session if you want to play Crusader Kings 3. But yeah, I think we had some good intrigue this time.
Yeah, no, it was fun. There's progress has been made, and yeah, you're down to the 1 duchy rank title now, so you shouldn't get any more realm fragmentation. You may lose county titles to siblings upon succession, but like, they will all be your vassals rather than splitting off into other realms. As long as you have that 1 highest rank primary title. So yeah, I think it's all uphill from here. Both in the sense of it getting difficult and also reaching new heights. So
I like both of those things. Yeah. Remind me who you are right now. I'm the Seer. The troublemaker is dead. Long live the Seer. You are presently...
I am still High Chieftain Kaleva Kemilainen of Pohjanmaa, up here in Finland. He is possessed and charitable, an architect. He's a wild guy, but he's 44, and I don't know how long I can expect him to live with this whole possession thing going on. So
yeah, possession is an interesting one. All right, well, thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you've been enjoying. Hope you'll continue to enjoy. If you haven't checked out the most recent episode of the podcast, it's a pretty good one. I talked to Damon Reese about Necrobarista. Their perspective on the game is pretty special as the lead writer. And also as someone from Adelaide. The game takes place in Melbourne. There's a lot of like talk about Australia and specific Australian things. It's good stuff. But yeah, tune in for more of this, tune in for more of everything, and thank you very much for joining us. And Adam, thank you for guiding my dumb ass through this beautiful, complicated game.
Thank you for having me on your stream. Thank you for giving me another like 3 hours of your life. This is fun, and I will do it as often as I can.
Here.